It was, of course, C. Wright Mills who started the conversation. In the late 1950s, he described communications as part of a powerful cultural apparatus. It is through this that the world is organized and compared, maintained and revised, lost and found, celebrated and debunked. 2 decades later, Stuart Hall added to the conversation by speaking of the media's role in constructing social knowledge and producing consensus through a process of actively ruling in and ruling out certain realities. Today, people are creating...
You know, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what does it mean again?
New media studies? In a conceptual way, it's everything.
And it says here you propose to offer courses in game design and social media marketing and internet studies?
We are just trying to keep up. These are all very popular options at other universities. And if we're to continue to compete for students, it's inevitable that we'll need to start a program of our own.
The core offering from the English department will be a messaging class.
Messaging?
Writing for film and new media. The formation of messaging, visual messaging, that sort of thing.
You know, is that what Joyce gave us? I mean, memos, Post-it notes. I mean, he taught us what it was like to be human.
Well, I'm sure we could debate the finer points of this the entire hour, but we still have several items on the agenda. So let me suggest we continue this discussion online.
I think that would be very fitting.
Right then, let us proceed.
Is that an Underwood? An honest-to-God clackety-clanking Underwood?
Cast iron. Found it at a garage sale over the weekend. Thought I'd give it a whirl.
But why?
You, of all people, are asking me that. I thought we were kindred spirits.
I thought it was a howitzer. You know how loud that thing is? I'd almost forgotten. I mean, just wait till they filter in. When they hear the sound of someone who is indisputably working, do you think they're going to be able to check their Facebook or browse the homepage of the New York Times? I mean, you'll be dragged down in front of the dean by lunch. We'll be pelting you with rotten eggs in the quad.
Would you like to touch it?
May I?
Yeah. Just type lugubrious, lowercase. It's where I left off.
You know, these halls used to be alive with this sound, and it gave me focus. It pushed me in toward my own work, forced me to forget about everything else. I might have to go down into my basement and find my old IBM Selectric and join you. And then they can put us both out in the stocks.
And give us time to work on an old media studies major. I didn't want to speak up. I mean, who wants to hear from the visiting writer, right? But I got to thinking, if you're going to study Facebook, why not the typewriter? What principles are at play here, and how can we still see them in use today? And can you imagine the publicity it'd generate? And everybody's got a new media studies program in the works, but old media?
And forget about the Chronicles of Higher Education. We'd have the Times and NPR calling.
This is Fresh Air with Terry Gross, and on today's program...
You know, I'm late for some undeniably pointless committee work, but we should continue this conversation.
Yeah, maybe after you visit my class, I could use a letter of recommendation.
You in the job market search already?
Always. That's right. It's written in the form of a proposal, much like one you'd see circulated among members of government. And this is a matter of public policy that the author is getting at here, isn't it? These children are so burdensome to society that we might as well just eat them, the author claims. After all, A young, healthy child, well nursed, is at a year old a most delicious, nourishing, and wholesome food, whether stewed, roasted, baked, or boiled. And I make no doubt that it will equally serve in a fricassee or a ragout. So what gives? What's going on here?
Wikipedia.
Of course. Well, it's not real, if that's what you were wondering about. No, the English did not cannibalize the children of Ireland, at least not literally. This is a satire of British policy. Do you remember the incongruity theory of humor? The author establishes an expectation. For example, these children are so burdensome, so something must be done about them. And then he answers that with an incongruity. Let's eat them.
You know, I thought I'd just offer another example. Now, I've been told that many students would likely major in a new media study should it be offered soon. But Wimbley and I believe there'd be greater interest in an old media studies major. We'd study the rotary phone, say, or the long play record. Anything that might reveal the mysteries of human life.
And is it true that old media studies majors could expect to receive a typewriter?
And a slide rule, yes.
But you shouldn't expect to receive without also giving. So, before being accepted into this program, a student would need to be ready to relinquish one item: your smartphone. Come on. Doesn't anybody want to know what life was like before the tyranny of the internet?
You know, before your phones tracked your every move and your selfies became a theatrical production.
Come, let us show you the ways of the 80s, the 70s, the 60s.
The 40s and the 50s. Come, join us before it's too late. Learn from the relics of the past who still walk amongst you.
Yeah, well, time is up, I can see. So thank you, Professor Crabtree, for joining us. And don't forget, first half of Miss Lonely Hearts Pie Tuesday. Oh, hello, Alice. I'm sorry, did we have an appointment?
No, I was just thinking, are you serious about the new major? Because you can take it. It used to be my whole life, but I don't want it anymore.
Alice, I can't take your phone.
My brother was the one in that video last year, dancing in his underwear to the Rocky theme song. You must be like the last people in this world that haven't seen it. It's got over 10 million views on YouTube.
Hey, why don't we take this inside, huh?
It was supposed to be a joke. For family. You know, him hamming it up. He was always hamming it up. But then he hid my phone for like 2 days. And so I uploaded it. You know, to get him back. When I saw it had like, I don't know, 10,000 views, I took it down. But someone must have copied it, so there was nothing I could do. He couldn't go to school without hearing about it. No girl wanted to go to the homecoming dance with him. My mom thought it would affect him getting into a good college. And so he jumped from the I-35 bridge and bounced into the carpool lane. So I looked online at the spring schedule, but I couldn't find anything for the class in old media studies. Should I have looked under communications? It is real, isn't it? You didn't make it up.
Well, of course there's nothing online. It's old media studies. Strictly a paper registration process, right, Wembley?
Right. Yep. Paper, yeah. Just write your name here.
It's a fountain pen. We're study at the first week of classes.